Now, up next is sports, and we just want to take that over the next few minutes. The vice captain of Nigeria's Super Eagles, Ogenyi Onazi, has backed the radical changes to the Africa Cup of Nations. The Confederation of Africa Football confirmed that the tournament will be held in June and July instead of January and February, and will be expanded to 24 teams from 16, starting from Cameroon 2019. Onazi, an African Cup of Nations winner with Nigeria, says the new timing will ease the pressure of European clubs and their African stars. The Trabzonspor midfielder said the summer date will also take away uncertainty around the availability of players. Onazi says the AFCON expansion will lead to the development of lesser African countries. Manchester City have completed a £27 million deal for Real Madrid's Danilo. The 26-year-old has signed a 5-year deal at the Etihad Stadium and will join his new teammates on the club's preseason tour of America. It means City have spent £133 million on 3 full-backs this month, as Pep Guardiola looks to overhaul his squad. Jose Mourinho has given a guarantee that David De Gea will stay at Manchester United this season. This despite the long-running saga over a potential move to Real Madrid. But Mourinho has delivered an unequivocal message to the 26-year-old's future. He said the prospect of returning to La Liga has now become less appealing for Spanish international. Barcelona have brought out their biggest guns in the battle to keep Neymar. Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, and Gerard Piqué have all launched attempts to convince him to reject Paris Saint-Germain's PSG, have told Neymar they are willing to meet his £196 million release clause and have offered him a staggering wage of over £500,000 per week. Wow. Barcelona president Josep Bartomeu has failed to convince Neymar, but his attacking teammates Messi and Suarez are trying to do the same. Well, that's it on sports this morning. I think it's time we have our first guest who will join us shortly. We'll take a break and be right back.
Darling, what's wrong with you? You have fever?
Yes. Oh. I have malaria.
Do you feel like vomiting?
Yes.
Stooling?
Yes.
What of sore throat?
Yes.
Are you feeling body pains?
Yes. No, it can't be Ebola.
It's the same symptoms. You can't be sure. Let us call for help right away.
Honey, I reject it. I don't have Ebola. I have malaria. See, look all the...
Oh, you may have the symptoms, but the person that can say, yes, it is Ebola, or no, it is not Ebola, is a healthcare worker. You cannot put your life or that of a family at a greater risk. Let us call 0800 Ebola Help now.
Hi, I'm Femi Shiwolu, and I'm here to share the facts on Ebola. Now, the difficult thing about Ebola is that other diseases share the symptoms like sudden fever, diarrhea, vomiting, sore throat, headache, body pains, or weakness. Don't attempt to cure or treat Ebola yourself. A person who seeks early treatment has the best chance of recovery from Ebola. So stay calm, stay healthy. With the right information and together with our healthcare workers, we can protect ourselves from Ebola. Get the facts and share what you know.
If you or anyone you know has signs or symptoms that could be Ebola, call 0800 Ebola Help now.
Adequate number of teachers, adequate number of support.
Well, we're excited to have Clay joining us this morning. She's a rock artist She's got an amazing voice, and of course, you'll be excited by what she has to offer us. Let's take it away, Clay.
This in my, been in the fire, been in the gutter, fought of my battles, yeah. Oh, God, this in my, oh, it's the laughers, the merry-go-round back then when she was younger. Amazing, amazing. Clay, you are just epic.
Thank you.
And this guitar, tell me this guitar is, you know, one of the things that goes around with you all the time.
All the time.
Every day?
Me, yeah.
You don't?
By the way, she has a name.
What's her name?
She, Liza.
Liza? Okay, so how long have you had Liza?
For like 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
Okay, so where did you get Liza? Was it something you bought here or when you went abroad or something?
No, I bought it in the store here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all the stuff is actually available here these days, huh?
Yes, everything.
Okay, so tell me about the song.
Okay, this song I just performed is called Ogadisima. It's
Okay.
my first single.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this was a song that pushed me to limelight. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I say back in the day, how long ago did you start this?
I started 5 years ago.
5 years.
Yeah.
So your type of music is very different. It's not the everyday, you know, Nigerian song. Did you have any fears about coming out with soft rock music in a place like Nigeria?
Well, yeah. But up until date, I haven't had any reason to stop.
Okay.
Of course, it's not been easy, but yeah, this is my dream and I'm living it.
Okay, so 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. Okay. Like what, stand up? I want to see your full outfit. Yes. Okay, so you have your own special style, don't you? Mm-hmm. I have to say you are wearing black. Is that part of your...
Black is my favorite color.
Are you kidding? Are you, as in you're kidding me, right?
No, I'm not kidding.
So you wear black, what, as a stage color or outfit or costume, or you just wear it all the time?
It's just my favorite color. You know, what is your favorite color?
Well, I have quite a few, actually. I don't think I have one. I think whatever fits me more is what I wear.
Okay, well,
is
black is like more, like I'm comfortable in black.
Okay, all right. But you look good,
Thank
you
you.
sound good.
Thank you.
So tell me the meaning of the name of the song.
Ogadisima means it will get better.
Okay.
Like no matter what you're going through, just keep working at it, believe in God, and you'll get better.
I know there's another song that you just came out with.
Yeah.
What's the name of that song?
Ochuku.
Ochuku.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means, Ochuku it means like na God.
Okay.
But the full phrase is Ochuku Merimotua. It means God has made me this way.
So soft rock in your native language. Nobody has come to meet you and say like you're crazy. Nobody's ever said that?
Well, even yesterday I still had this conversation with my dad where he was saying, see, girl, I think you should start doing the normal pangolo and everything. Because the money is not rolling like we want it to. But I'm like, oh, it's okay.
All right. So, but your fan base, how's it grown so far?
Well, yeah, on social media, I think my fan base is really cool.
All right, all right. Now, I have to say a big thank you to you for coming on the show this morning.
Me.
Beautiful song. And, well, hey, I'm going to have to go to a break now. There's a feature that we need to take based on a guest that's coming up next. You want to stay close to your TV. It's still Wake Up Nigeria.
It all started in 2013 when seasoned actress, scriptwriter and director Abiola Williams started experiencing symptoms of cough, weight loss, swollen body parts, darkening and itching of the skin after her reclaimed exposure to chemicals from paints on the set of a popular Nigerian TV series.
I am an actress, a writer, a producer, a director, and a trader. And I specialized in playwriting, which has helped me in directing pieces, even for other people. And I've been privileged to have done some stage presentations at different stages. And I have been playing in Tinsel as Titi King. Up until recently, when fortunately I was diagnosed with a condition called scleroderma. It's been interesting because it's shown me the different sides of life and enriched me with more experience with my writing and being able to represent and present different characters as I visualize them in my mind, even when I go on stage, because gladly and thankfully I'm still on stage and on TV.
Help!
She continued with the struggle until 2015 when she was diagnosed with scleroderma, a systemic sclerosis with Sjogren syndrome, at the dermatology department of Lagos University Teaching Hospital.
Before I was diagnosed, God gave me a word, Joel 2, 24 to 26. And that word, I held on to it because after my diagnosis and all sorts of things started happening, I began to understand the value of the word that God gave me, because it like stole everything that I had or that I thought that I had. Up to the point of my voice, affected my life virtually. God has consistently reminded me that He will restore all things to me. As in, He never lets up. There can be no play if there's no conflict. There can be no drama. So for me to write anything, there always has to be a conflict. My life in itself has conflicts, so it makes living interesting and challenging. Drama is a small presentation or representation of life. So having gone through so many challenges myself, it enriches me with stories to write things. Like I wrote recently a poem about scleroderma, and it was titled Sclero What? And it just captures briefly my experience so far.
Scleroderma, an autoimmune rheumatic disease which precedes hardening and depigmentation of the skin, is said to be triggered by environmental causes and also have genetic predisposition. The ailment, which is yet to have a medical cure, has no doubt forced a new lifestyle on the actress. Although the odds are looking great for the actress, she continues to stay strong and positive even in the face of this fearful situation, which she believes will have a happy ending for her.
Welcome back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. Now, every single time I watch that feature, I'm just grateful that the conversation today is not about sadness. It's actually about victory.
Yes, it is.
It's about happiness.
It's about, you know, triumph over sickness and, you know, coming out. And I like the fact that, you know, one of the things that, you know, she said was that, you know, she was really, really committed to studying the word and, you know, just building herself up.
I think we should let her in now.
I think we should. I think we should.
Please welcome with us the screen goddess herself, Abiola Williams.
Let's give her a round of applause. Abiola.
You're welcome.
There she is, looking lovely.
Oh, wow, she looks amazing.
You're all welcome.
All right.
Welcome to
Please
Wake Up Nigeria.
Hi. Good morning. Good morning.
Wow. So good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Oh, same here. Thank you. Please take
have a seat.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So.
Wow, what a story.
Honestly.
What a story. And you look so nice and so lovely this morning.
Please tell me who made this. Who made what you're wearing today?
Unfortunately, I bought it.
Oh, you bought it? Okay.
Just bought it off.
It looks amazing.
And I'm not a goddess.
Okay. Oh, if you say so.
So what are you, a diva?
No, I am not a diva. Do you know what diva means? A
You have a
diva,
point there.
historically, a diva is a Buddhist
Oh, wow.
demon.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not going to be using that word anytime soon.
All right, so we're going straight to your story. Right. We watched the feature and we saw what would have turned out to be a sad story, turning out to be some kind of a testimony for you.
Absolutely.
Can you just take us through that story very briefly?
Okay, it all started a few years back, and I just kept feeling something was wrong. At the studios, I kept coughing, and I didn't know why. But I did all sorts of tests. At some point, my doctor asked me if I was a hypochondriac, like, you know, when you keep feeling that you're ill, and you look for a reason to be ill all of the time. So I said, I hope so. I mean, at least that would prevent something, because I thought the worst. I did all sorts of tests, all sorts of, you know, thinking that maybe it was some form of cancer or the other, because I just didn't feel right. You know how your body keeps talking to you, though I didn't know exactly what was the problem. But I always ensured that every summer I went on holiday with my children, because I always thought maybe this would be the last time I would ever spend time with my children, you know. And I kept working. I worked like mad. And every time I had a bit of respite, I could sleep for 3 days straight.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I'll be thoroughly fat, as in totally exhausted. But I didn't know what it was until 2015. By this time, there were, like you could see my skin, I started having this hypopigmentation, and it wasn't as much as this. There were just little.
Yes, and I remember you said the doctors thought that it was another ailment and not.
Oh yeah, I went to a dermatologist,
yes.
a renowned dermatologist, and he thought it was vitiligo.
Okay.
And started treating me for vitiligo. Okay. And but it didn't go. And you know the thing about vitiligo, it's also an autoimmune disorder or condition which you keep you live with. Some manage it effectively and it goes temporarily, might come back if it's triggered again, you know, and all that. So I thought, okay, vitiligo, we could work with it. Until I said, you know, it started impacting my body, my organs, and I was always fatigued. And unfortunately, I noticed this from being exposed to chemicals from paint.
Okay.
Because we were always recording in the studio, and it was an enclosed space, and the sets would be brought into the studio to, well, maybe after drying, but maybe not totally dried.
Right.
And so every time I came into the studio, I'll cough, and I'll cough consistently, and which is what made me start doing all those tests. And then, unfortunately, the studio got burnt, which was a much bigger studio. And then we went to a smaller studio, and that compounded it for me. And I would cough. Once I entered the studio, my eyes would start to water.
Wow.
And I'll be coughing. And, you know, there was a day I couldn't even shoot. I was that tired. Anyway, eventually, I went for that diagnosis at Luth. And I saw the doctor. And she said, oh, in the moment she saw me, she just said, oh, this is scleroderma. I said, sclero what?
Wow.
Yeah, it's
And then, of
scleroderma.
course, they discovered the illness. What were the recommendations that were now eventually, eventually made
Recommendations were not really good. I mean, you have to be on steroids. And, you know, there were so many things they told me to take that I said, you know, me, I'm not taking this. Because when I looked at the side effects of all the drugs I was supposed to, you would just go from bad to worse, were my own thoughts. So I really didn't take them seriously. I went to alternative medicine, you know, integrative medicine, combining orthodox medicine with alternative herbal and alternative medicine.
Okay. I would love to ask, you know, your family, you know, and family support. I would love to know a little bit more about how they came in for
My mother was scared, because she didn't know what it was and she didn't understand it. And it got to a point where I could barely stand up straight because my skin had pulled and was now taut. And because what happens is that your cells are fighting themselves and your skin is producing more collagen. You know, collagen firms the skin.
Yes.
And that is what, when you start getting to middle age, like mine, you want collagen. So your skin does not sag and you don't wrinkle and all of that.
And here was your skin producing excess collagen.
Absolutely excessive. So it was tight, it was like stone, it was hard. And now what happens is when the skin tightens and all your cells, the connective tissues between your organs are tightening. That means that your organs too are tightening.
Wow. Wow.
And then it tightens, it becomes stone, the person dies.
So take us to the treatment. I mean, we're talking about family and you know, family support and all of that.
It got to a point where my rheumatologist, the rheumatologists are the ones that treat diseases like this. And so he told me, look, I needed to go for a treatment, and it's called, well, he gave me options, one of which was rituximab. Now, rituximab in itself it's like some form of chemotherapy. It has a lot of disadvantages, a lot of side effects. And one of it is fatality. The person could die. So I didn't want to do it. But my pastor would not let me rest. Pastor Taiwo Dukoya. He said, you know what, you have to go for this treatment. So I went to India. He was very supportive of that. And that was where I had my first 2 treatments for this disease, and it actually helped. It helped. I combined it with Ayurveda treatment. So a lot of herbs were used on the skin physically to relax the skin. And to give me and to reinvigorate me. To like replenish all the nutrients that I had lost and all the things my cells had lost to the disease. And I was there for like 2 months.
Oh, wow. And then, of course, you said you had lots of support from your friends.
Going back to the family. That's very important. Yes, I had a lot of, in fact, I couldn't have survived without my family and my friends. My mom had to come and stay with me for some time. And even for that some time, there were days I could not stand up from the bed. And you know, when people wanted to come and see me, there were days that I couldn't pick up my phone to call. Or you're calling me and to open my mouth and talk will be a problem. I just, you know what, I can't talk. I used to tell that to my very close friends, you know, I can't talk now. Or you call me and I can't pick up the calls, or I couldn't eat. You know, I went through different stages, but I had tremendous support from my children, my daughter in particular. Like I tell people, until you have a daughter, you haven't started burning.
Well, it feels like you've really come up from this. You've come out of
absolutely.
The really sad stages of it.
You see, even in the depth of it, I wasn't sad. Even when I could barely stand, I wasn't sad.
That's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, the faith that you demonstrated. Because, I mean, from the feature that we watched, you demonstrated so much faith. You had your Bible in your hand and you were reading from the Bible, and you said God spoke to you from the book of Joel. I mean, can you share with us some of what was going through your mind?
Now, before I realized what was happening at all in the first place, God had given me that scripture. I didn't know. When he said he will restore everything, I said, money is coming. You know, that was how I interpreted it, that, you know, things were coming. But when it started to happen, he would consistently remind me of the scripture that he had given me. Now, for things to be restored, they had to be lost first.
Wow.
So I lost everything, virtually. But in having said so, there was no fear. Because when God keeps talking to you, I've been through things in my life, even before now, you know, and through every stage I hear from God. And when if God has brought me, I've gone really down, and he's always brought me up. So no matter how low I go, I know that I'm still going to come up. So that was what sustained me all through that time. And I come from a family of people who believe in God. Nigeria is an environment of people who believe in God, or supposedly, you know. So I always had encouragement from people around me, you know, to lift me up, to bolster me. I have a very good friend who lives in Abuja. She was always on the phone with me 24/7. My husband, my children, my husband's family, my own family, you know. And then my friends, even in the media, in Tidor, for example, was consistently there for me. Yeah. And my daughter, Shalewa.
Oh
yeah,
wow.
she was.
That's your
Oh,
daughter?
wow. No, what I mean is my daughter Otinso.
Okay,
I call her my daughter. We have, you know, we have a very close bond.
Okay.
You know, so I had a lot of support, you know, from people who were close to me. They would send me scriptures, because sometimes I couldn't talk. So they'll send me scriptures every day that I would open and, you know, pronounce over myself, you know, in my mind. Because you see, a lot of times I couldn't pray either. You know, I couldn't, you know, when you could, even in my mind, I say, you know, God, I'm talking. You can hear. It's okay.
All right. So we're going to be taking a break now for the news.
But
and when we return, we'll still come back with Abiola Williams. Don't go away.
Thank you very much for staying tuned. The Imo State Governor, Rochas Okorocha, says President Muhammadu Buhari will be back as soon as the doctors give him the green light. This was after he and a few other APC governors met with the president in London. Governor Okorocha says President Buhari was very cheerful and has not lost any bit of his sense of humor. The delegation spent more than an hour with the president over lunch, discussing developments back home. Other members of the delegation include Governors Umaru Tanko Al-Makura of Nasarawa, Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna, Yahaya Bello of Kogi, and APC National Chairman John Oyegun. Back to you, Yomi.
All right. Thank you so much, Mary, for that. So we were still talking to Abiola Williams, who has been telling us her story. And how
I think it's time to find out the fun stuff you do. Because I know a lot of people have been through really debilitating conditions, and they've come out and then for some reason they just feel like they can't enjoy themselves. Please tell us what you do to enjoy yourself.
Okay, I'm a very boring person.
Oh, no, I don't think that's
So you don't
true.
go swimming, you don't go bike riding?
I don't think that's
You don't go to
true.
the club? You don't hang out?
I hang out with myself.
Really?
I know I have the appearance of you know, of whatever happening chick all over the place kind of thing, but it's all facade. It's
all appearance.
It's all an appearance. I like my own company.
Okay.
Now, if you come to visit me, be sure that you're going to do all the talking.
Okay.
But I'll ask questions, I'll listen to you. I ask questions. I want to know what, like you have experienced that from me within the short time. I'll ask you questions. I want to know who you are and all that. And before you know it, in the short time we have, we're best friends.
Within 5 minutes, I was sharing baby pictures with her.
Honestly?
And showing her, you know, my kids and all that.
He's all about his kids, really. He's always showing people his kids' pictures,
fantastic. Really. And they look like him. So basically, my fun time is with people. Spending time with people. I don't go visiting though.
Okay.
Rarely. But spending time with people, talking, and I read a lot. And I write a lot.
So
and
tell us about your teenage kids.
Oh, my children. My son, Jomiloju, he's in America. He's studying economics.
Okay.
And he's a saxophonist.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and he also writes. And he's into spoken word. He fancies himself as a director as well. And he acts, you know, basically following my pattern. And then my daughter, and this is because all through their lives, I always bundled them everywhere I was going. Anywhere I'm going, my children are there with me. Anybody that knows me knows my children. And so my daughter as well, she just finished high school. She just graduated. Had the experience of fixing her hair for the first time, wearing nails.
Wow.
So for us, fantastic. We had fun doing that. But my fun moments, I love watching movies. I go to the cinemas. I watch them at home. Movies, that's what I do. I don't swim. It's my husband and my children that swim. We have a pool at home. I've never been inside it.
Can you imagine you having a pool? Never having gone in.
And I don't have any desire to, you know. And I love traveling. I love traveling. If I have the opportunity, I'll go around the world. Those are the things I love doing. And I hate to dress up. Yes.
But you're so well put together today. All these things you're saying, it doesn't feel like you don't talk much because you've been talking to us and we've been enjoying everything you've been saying.
I'm an actress.
Oh, okay.
So you're acting basically.
Basically.
But you're also telling us a true story.
Absolutely.
Which
I love
is very
to
touching.
act. I love to act. That is the blood that flows through my veins. Once I'm acting, I'm in my elements. And when I finish, I go back to myself. And myself is just to look at other people as they leave.
So speaking of acting and, liking movies, your new projects that you're working on. Can you tell us about some of them?
I'm so terrible when it comes to things like that because I've done a few movies. I can't remember their names.
Okay, so what about a character you've played before? Could we get maybe one scene?
Maybe
or something
one scene from when you were Titi or when you were another
that you remember
character.
Playing.
Are you for real? Yes. I remember a line. Once I drop that script, that's the end.
That's the end of it.
Okay, so which role would you have dreamed of playing from a classic movie?
From any
From any movie that you love.
I think any of the roles that Meryl Streep played,
wow.
Yeah, because she's a fantastic actress. And when I look at her, I'm looking at, can I do that? How can I achieve that? What would I need? And I'm looking at her nuances and her facial expressions because you see, acting is from the soul. You bring out the soul of that person that you're representing. How is that person thinking? What are those thoughts going through that person's mind at this point in time? Once you can replicate the thought of that person, your eyes, you see, those eyes of yours tell the story of the character. If your eyes are real, you will be true. Your acting will be believable. But if your eyes, because a lot of times sometimes we act, because I criticize myself a lot. When I watch myself, I say, Abiola, that one didn't work. That one didn't work. Or that one could have worked if so I'm able to see myself clearly when I watch myself. And you see, the eyes always tell the story.
Okay, so one more quick question before we round off. I was wondering if you had a message to anyone out there that's probably been through what you've been through, or probably something even worse, and is trying to, come out of it.
Cope and
trying to cope.
Manage the situation.
A message to them.
The Lord is my strength and my salvation. He's my light. So at all times, whatever, I don't know how anybody who does not believe in God can make it in life, much less in this Nigeria of today. So I would say to anybody, hold on to the Lord. Hold on to the word of the Lord. It's a lamp unto my feet, it's the light unto my path. It's the one that leads me all of the time and gives me the strength with which I live. In fact, it's the very air that I breathe and the bread. I don't eat bread anymore, but it's still the bread that I eat. So what I'm trying to say is, no matter what you're going through, if your focus is not on the situation or on yourself, but you're focusing on God, you will come through it. And you keep thinking, I am going to be better than I was yesterday. I've faced a lot of disappointments. You know, you go somewhere expecting that, oh, I'm going to get this job. And then they say, well, we're sorry, we can't, you're something, oh, you're too small. Unfortunately, I can never be big. So I'm going to remain small forever. They say, no, we want somebody that is big. I was like, okay, all right. That wasn't meant for me. However, I go away feeling that some people are going to want me small, right? So I keep looking forward to tomorrow. Whatever the situation is, never give up on yourself, because God is not giving up on you.
Amen to that. Amen.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Abiola Williams, joining us this morning. And it's, I mean, your testimonies and the stories that you shared with us are absolutely amazing and encouraging, not just to us, but I'm sure to our viewers watching at home.
So don't forget, we're streaming live.
Yes, we are. We're streaming live on tvcontinental.tv. And then you can also check us out and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at TVC Connect. Tell us how you feel about
today's show.
Today's show.
Yeah, today is the first episode. And well, up next, we will be meeting Immaculate. Now, don't know if you remember her, but she was one of the contestants that blew our minds at the last Project Fame. Don't go anywhere too far.